The number 4 has been a special number to the A's so far this season. Friday, the A's beat the Orioles by 4 runs. Leading the way was the number 4 hitter who smashed a 4-bagger, while 4 A's pitchers kept Baltimore in check. Last night, 4 Oakland hitters each had 2 hits, while they scored all 4 runs and received a stellar performance by number 4. Today, they will go for their 4th straight win, looking to score at least 4 runs since they are an amazing 19-4 when reaching the magic number. A's O's next. Sunshine and baseball on a Sunday afternoon. It's a gorgeous day at the Coliseum, and the A's are going for the sweep. That'll be their starting pitcher, Guillermo Moscoso. And the Orioles, well, they're trying to get out of town with a win. So it's the series finale from the Coliseum. It's the Oakland A's hosting the Baltimore Orioles. You'll see the game right here on Comcast Sportsnet, California. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Well, the bullpen has been terrific in this series. 7 shutout innings. And Ray, today, that bullpen got just a little bit better.
He is back. Andrew Bailey has been activated prior to today's ball game, so he's back in the bullpen. They'll take it a little bit slowly with Andrew Bailey because he is coming back, almost like spring training. But it's so great to have him back in the back end of the bullpen. Even though he may not be as strong as he will eventually be with his arm strength, still the confidence that he has to close a ball game and the confidence this bullpen has with him pitching the ninth inning is going to be outstanding. Plus, it moves everybody in the slots that they were going to be in prior to Bailey going on the disabled list. It is great to have him back.
Today, Guillermo Moscoso will make his 2nd start. He was pretty good down in Anaheim, and he's going to try to get another win.
You know, the key in that ball game, the A's scored him some early runs against the Angels. He challenged hitters. He had Kurt Suzuki behind the plate, back there again today. And the great thing about that, challenge guys, and all of a sudden you start getting quick outs, not a lot of pitches thrown. He ended up going 7 innings, pitched a great game. Actually, it was 6 innings, but picked up the win, and primarily because he challenged the hitters after getting the run support. Why mess around and walk, guys, when you have runs behind you? Just challenge them, and he did that game. He should do it again today.
So today, the A's are looking for their 4th consecutive win, and a win today. The A's will get back to the 500 mark. Some momentum going into that big Yankee series starting tomorrow. It's the A's and the Orioles. A's going for the sweep.
Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by AT&T and by Toyota. Check out the great deals at your local Toyota dealer today.
Now the A's have taken the field with some of the little leaguers, and those youngsters now head off the field. So we're just moments away from first pitch. It's the A's and the Orioles on a beautiful day. Lots of sunshine in the Bay Area. Here is the game time weather brought to you by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. It's a 62-degree day. Not a whole lot of wind. And indeed, a nice Sunday for baseball, and the A's will try to sweep the Baltimore Orioles this afternoon. Let's take a look at the Orioles lineup for today. Felix P.A. First time we're seeing him in this series. He'll be in left field. Adam Jones in center. Nick Markakis in right. Bad Vlad is the DH. Weeder's back in there. Luke Scott will play first base today. J.J. Hardy at short. Mark Reynolds at third. Robert Andino at second.
Guillermo Moscoso, his second start for the Athletics, his first Tuesday. It was outstanding in Anaheim. Just 3 hits. 6 innings of 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. He did a very good job. And, of course, the 0.000 earned run average tells you a lot because picked up the win. By the way, he's ready to go. The umpires just now exchanging lineup cards and going over the ground rules. So Moscoso ready for Joe West to grab the lineup card, get behind the plate. He's checking them out, make sure everything's correct.
The umpires.
Oh, they're waiting on the baseball.
That would be something you probably need today. Jackson, Chris DeJesus in the outfield for the A's today. Kuzmanov, Pennington, Ellis Barton on the infield, and Kurt Suzuki is the catcher. So Moscoso has finished his warm-up tosses, and we're just about set to go. The A's won Friday night 6-2, and they won last night 4-2. Just enough starting pitching. Bullpen's been great, and 2-out hits. That's really been the stories so far in the first 2 games of this series.
Yeah, the 7 hits with 2 outs, run-scoring hits, and then 6 double plays in the pitching. I mean, it's a great combination to win a couple of games to start the homestand. And you know, people want to talk about brooms, just talk about playing good baseball. If you're going to win, sweep a series, that's even better. But you don't want to infuriate the opposition.
Felix P.A. swings at the first pitch, lofts it into shallow center field. 1 pitch, 1 out.
First pitch.
And the Dodge Charger keys to the game. The A's try for their first 3-game sweep of the year, and they will do that if they win today. Moscoso's second career start better than his first. We'll see. It's pretty tough to match what he did, but get some run support should be helpful. And keep up the 2-out hitting. When you get that kind of hitting, that makes the manager happy, the hitting coach happy, everybody's happy in the organization. Guys coming through. Mark Ellis, his first home run of the season last night, a bullet to left field. And he said, after he said, I crushed that. He said, if that wasn't going to go, nothing was. J.J. Hardy probably said the same thing, but his state of the art.
Adam Jones pops it up, shallow right, and DeJesus is under it, and that's 2 outs, 2 quick outs. So that'll bring up Markakis.
Another follow through in the swing. Kurt Suzuki. Getting the left hand, left arm, maybe, but you have to watch and see how close or far back you are. "13 fly ball outs for Moscoso Tuesday night, and 2 already in this game. And a lot of that, I think, is that hitters may be a little patient, starting their swing a little late, and as a result, they try to accelerate as the pitch is on them, and not much they can do about driving the ball. Instead, they get under it. Easy outs.
And a quick 0-2 to Nick Markakis. .254 the average for Markakis. Kuzmanov backs up, makes the catch, and Moscoso, which a 6 pitch, top of the first inning. Take a look at the lineup for the Athletics today. Chris, Barton, Jackson. Jackson will be in left field. Williams, the DH today. Then Suzuki, DeJesus, Ellis, Yusupov, and Pennington.
And young rookie Zach Britton making the start. 5 wins on the season and won 4 of those in April as a rookie. Good fastball, top out in the mid-90s as a 2-seam and a 4-seam fastball. And a good slider and changeup. So the A's sitting for the first time ever, and he is seeing those players also.
P.A. Jones, Markakis in the outfield. Reynolds, Hardy, and Dino Scott on the infield. Weeders behind the plate. So Zach Britton, just 23 years old, and off to a terrific start in his rookie season. At right center, Jones on the move, makes the catch, out number 1. Third round pick of the Orioles back in 2006, minor league pitcher of the year in 2010, and an older brother in the Orioles minor league system. He spent 5 years in the minor leagues, and if you look at his numbers each year, very good. He just kept progressing through the system, and it's pretty clear when he did finally get to the big leagues, he was ready to pitch at this level.
Derek Holland, the Rangers, throws very hard for a lefty. A lot of times you think of a lefty, he's going to have a good 2-seam sinking fastball, good changeup, but all of a sudden some good left-handed arms in the American League. They have their own, Gio Gonzalez and Brett Anderson. 2 guys who can throw hard.
Well, Britton's last win was May 1st, so it's been a while, but since that May 1st win, he's made 4 starts. A loss and 3 no decisions, but his ERA in those 4 starts is 1.97.
You detailed early in the series about how long it took the Orioles to win a certain number of games, and how about the Orioles last year? Didn't have a 5-game winner until July the 29th.
Yep.
And so he is way ahead of that with the 5 wins, and especially starting out in the month of April. I think more than anything, Mark Connor, the pitching coach for the Orioles, Buck Showalter, the manager, showing confidence in this young man. Mark, a very good pitching coach.
Line drive left center field, that's a base hit. PA is able to cut it off. So Derek Barton has a 1-out single.
Well, against a lefty, and that's always good to see. Work the count 3-2. A fastball, go opposite field. Enough of a line drive that even with the shallow outfielders, they could not get to it. PA playing a little bit deeper than what we saw Rimo playing in the first 2 games of the series, but a very good swing by Derek Barton.
So that'll bring up Connor Jackson, playing left field today. It's Jackson's first appearance in the series. Talking about that stretch for Britain, where he hasn't won. May 12th, he pitched at home against the Seattle Mariners. 9 shutout innings, allowed just 3 hits and no walks. And he got a no decision because Vargas did the same thing for the Mariners. Now, Orioles ended up winning that game in 12 innings, but you throw 3-hit shutout baseball for 9 innings, you feel like you should probably get W. He did not.
Well, meanwhile, Matt Wieters back in the game today. Tatum, a good start last night for the Orioles, but Matt Wieters very good at blocking balls in the dirt, and Britton just threw about a 95-mile-an-hour fastball in front of the plate, and he was able to keep the runner at first base.
So 2-1 the count. Just underway from the Overstock.com Coliseum. A win and the A's will be back at the 500 mark. They're 26-27. They've won 3 in a row and 4 out of their last 5. So they're starting to put a stretch together. And it's pretty obvious that no one in the AL West is really jumping out to a big lead. 4 teams separated by a game and a half.
And the top team, the Rangers, who are trailing the Royals right now, are 2 games over the 500 mark. Mariners 1. Angels even. The A's trying to get back to even, and that was Andrew Bailey in the bullpen in the backdrop.
And there's the walk to Jackson. So 2 on 1 out for Willingham.
Well, tomorrow afternoon, the New York Yankees will be in town, and think back to when Buck Showalter was managing the Texas Rangers, and there was a young man just brought up, a rookie by the name of Mark Teixeira. And he started horribly slow. Buck Showalter stayed with him, and I say that because the young pitcher in Britain, some of the young players at Buck Showalter, he believes in guys, and in the case of Mark Teixeira, he eventually moved to first base, and now he's probably on the way to a Hall of Fame career with the New York Yankees. But I think he must have started like over 16, 17. And I think Ted Lilly hit a home run off of him, and that started him. And here we are, just a tremendous player now.
Willingham, base hit left field. Barton to third, they're waving him home. PA's throw is cut off, and the A's lead 1-0.
Josh Willingham, true to his word. I said, hey, a great swing last night, that run-scoring single to right center. He says, you know what, I think I'll try it again today. Well, first pitch he sees from the left-hander with the runner in scoring position, not 2 outs. That's okay. But a solid base hit to left field. Derek Barton held up momentarily because the ball was in the air, and the on-deck hitter, Kurt Suzuki, running quickly to tell him slide. See, that was a great shot of Suzuki in the background. He was in the on-deck circle, and of course the on-deck hitter needs to be there to tell the runner what to do. So Willingham comes through again. Maybe the times that he played against the Orioles in interleague play, the Nationals and Orioles, maybe that's helped him. Or just the fact that he's a great hitter, and it's starting to show a lot more.
In the dirt to Kurt Suzuki.
Watch Kurt Suzuki. See him back in the background. Get down, get down. Yeah, he's excited, but he also knows that he has to be in that position to let the runner know. If one Ramon Hernandez had been there when Jeremy Giambi was supposed to slide and didn't a long time ago. And Eric Burns in Boston, 2003. So it's important. It's a very important job of the running hitter in the on-deck circle. Because things happen at the plate, and you never want a guy to be halfway in between. Should I slide? Should I not slide and end up hurting himself because someone's not there to direct him.
A 1-1 to Suzuki, hitting .250 with 4 home runs and 14 RBIs. Hurt hits from high right center. Markakis and Jones come together, and it'll be Adam Jones who makes the catch. Deep enough for Jackson to tag and go to third.
Good to see David DeJesus getting a start against the lefty. He's been swinging the bat so well, and
right fielder.
He's dropped down in the batting order, but still in there and looking for a 2-out hit, something the A's have done pretty consistently in the first 2 games. I tell you, this guy right here has done a job already with Britton. He has blocked about 3 balls in the dirt that have been very, very difficult ones to try to get in front of, but you just think of the runners that could have advanced in the case with the fly ball by Suzuki. One of those wild pitches or balls in the dirt gets by, they could have advanced.
DeJesus takes a strike on the outside corner. .253 for DeJesus with 4 homers and 19 runs batted in. 1 for 7 in the series, but hitting .340 in his last 15 games. Hard on the ground, right to the second baseman Andino. Side retired. Willingham with an RBI single, and the A's have a 1-0 lead after 1.
Few is 6 people. Suites include a set food package featuring wings, sliders, hot dogs, popcorn, and beverages. All this for only $99 per person. For more information, call 510-638-GO-A's or visit oaklandathletics.com/mini-suite. Saying get them early, get them often, because the boys are playing good baseball, and great opportunity to get some folks together and have a nice fun time watching baseball in the privacy of your suite.
Moscoso. First pitch to Guerrero is outside.
We're lucky we have our private suite for every game, right?
Yeah,
we get food brought in. We get people lucky. Bringing us pizza last night, round table pizzas. And
jam shot, little pop up. Suzuki and Barton coming together. Barton reaches down and makes the catch. So Derek Barton, a nice play, and you got to make sure there's not a collision either.
Well, also Derek Barton playing very deep because Guerrero is not a threat to bunt, so he had a long way to run. He checked to see where Kurt Suzuki was right at the last instant, and I don't know if he was calling, probably did, and Kurt Suzuki kind of peeled off, and Derek Barton running into our great camera work
and making a very good play. Tommy Hansen could direct some cameras, can he?
Yes, he can. First pitch is outside to Wieters.
And back-to-back hitters, two very good hitters, Marquez and Guerrero, jammed by good fastballs from Moscoso. 4 outs, 4 fly ball outs.
Wieters hitting .272 with 4 homers, 26 runs batted in. He did not play in last night's game. Moscoso threw just 6 pitches in that first inning.
Another hitter, a very powerful hitter, and Wieters a little bit tardy on the swing, shooting the ball to the left side. But this is the type of club and type of pitching from Moscoso, and I'm sure Kurt Suzuki realizes it as well, that you go through the batting order, you establish the fastball, hitters aren't getting around on it, but the second time through the order, they'll start looking at, well, if he's going to throw the fastball, I'm going to gear it up a little bit extra. And that's when you start throwing a two-seamer, you start throwing maybe some off-speed pitches, trying to get them off the barrel of the bat.
Three and two now to Wieters with Luke Scott, left-handed hitter, waiting in the on-deck circle. That was the pitch breakdown in his start Tuesday. 78% fastball. That's drilled to right field, and that's a base hit. That's a major league line drive right there.
Well, and that's major league hitting, because a 3-2, Wieters seen fastballs, knew he was going to get another one 3-2, and rightfully so. Fortunately, no elevation with the line drive, and so it's a base hit, but see him lift the front leg, pitch a little bit away from him, but yet he was able to pull it over Mark Ellis. And that's what the hitters probably talking about in the dugout. This kid's throwing a lot of fastballs, start to swing a little bit earlier, try to throw a couple of changeups to Wieters that were both out of the strike zone.
Wieters very short lead at first. As Luke Scott steps in, and Scott goes after the first pitch, pops a foul back. The Royals are leading the Rangers 5-2. That game in the 5th inning. Angels 5, Twins 3 in the 8th inning, and the Yankees and the Mariners no score in the 2nd. So there's your AL West update. High fly ball left field, where Connor Jackson comes in. And that's out number 2. The Orioles came into this series right at the 500 mark, but they are now 24-26.
J.J. Hardy.
9-12 on the road. They will head to Seattle after the game. Open up a 3-game series against the Mariners. And at least in the American League, I think the Mariners are probably the hottest team. They are winners of 9 out of their last 10. Seattle. Hottest team in the National League is probably the Arizona Diamondbacks. They have won 13 out of their last 50. Now, they're losing today, but they have put on a great run, and they're just a half game behind the Giants in the NL West. Red Sox are hot. They've won 4 in a row coming into today. And they won again. So that's a doubleheader they have today. And they won the first game 4-3. So Boston has won 5 in a row. I'd like to see those Red Sox cool off a little bit before next weekend.
That's right. Just thinking the Diamondbacks will be at the Coliseum. They already play in June.
Right. They'll cool off.
Hopefully by then.
Left center field, and that's going to get down, and that's going to go to the wall. Here comes Wieters, and they're going to hold him at third as Pennington guns it in. And Cliff Pennington says, I'm going to show off my arm. and he threw a very good relay in. But Wieters was being held all the way by the third base coach, John Russell.
Well, the fastball, again, the ball was driven into left center. And the key here was Connor Jackson getting the ball, retrieving it, getting it back into Cliff Pennington. And I think at that point, they knew exactly they wanted Connor to have it to Pennington. And at that point, the runner, Wieters, who does not run that hard, or at least that fast, had to be held at third base. So a good break for the A's, a ball that was hit in the left center. With 2 outs, you figure that it's going to be one to score, but it did not. Well, it's a good breaking ball.
So Reynolds is the hitter. Now watch the relay, Ray. See Pennington already some momentum going toward home before he even throws the ball.
And that is the key, because what happens, you set yourself up kind of sideways. You don't want to take the throw with your back to the infield. You know that the guy might be trying to steal or might be trying to score.
That one skied to center field. Coco Crisp is there. He's got it. Side retired. So the Orioles strand a pair. They get a single and the double, but can't get anybody across. For the Bay Area fan, go deep with Sportsnet Central. It's brought to you by Hyundai tonight at 10:30, and it's on our sister station, Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. We'll wrap up from the Coliseum. Indy celebrates 100 years, and wait till you see the finish of this year's Indianapolis 500. Of course, the rest of the AL West Roundup, Damon Andrews, Dave Benz will host. Remember Wide World of Sports, Ray? When they used to say the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Well, just wait till you see the finish of the Indy 500, and then you'll understand what we're talking about.
Well, and just like the Wide World of Sports, they probably show today's final lap and final part of the race many times when they
will
advertise and promote future Indy 500s.
Mark Ellis shoots one to left center field. PA on the move, and he makes the catch.
Mark Ellis, a 3-2 fastball, and Hira hurt it because the ball was crushed left center, and Mark Ellis, who hit his first home run, got the silent treatment in the dugout, did not care one bit as the boys eventually up off the bench to congratulate him. That was a big run. And anytime you can add an insurance run in the 8th inning before the 9th, and it changes everything in what an opposing team can think about doing. 1 run versus 2. Runner on base, you could always sacrifice, try to get him in to tie the game. 2-run lead worked out perfectly as Devine, Balfour, and Fuentes, 3 perfect innings to finish out the game and a win for Josh Outman. That was fun last night.
It's a good ball game.
Guys come in and finish it off, and timely hitting, great defense. And the A's can get to the 500 mark and just start taking off at that point.
1-2 the count to Kuzminov. Kuzminov shoots one to the right side and foul. So 2-2 to Kuzminov. A couple of hits in the series and an RBI. And he's got another base hit. Shoots this one to right field. Good hitting by Kuzminov. Well, the A's made a trade today. It's a player we saw a little bit last year, Steve Tollefson. He goes to the Padres for a player to be named later.
Shortstop, number
That's
2.
a good break for him.
Cliff Pennington.
He was up a little bit last year and disappointed this spring when he thought he had a chance to be the backup infielder with Adam Rosales on the disabled list. He is in his rehab, but Sandy LaRoche, who had a better spring, especially offensively, played all the positions, and he got that role and has played quite a bit for the A's. So Thomas will wish him well.
Yeah, he was disappointed at spring training. I remember that.
And anybody can play different positions. And of course, Andy LaRoche talked yesterday about that thing, how he enjoys getting a chance to play any and all of the positions on the infield, outfield if necessary.
Andino, a nice play to his left, out at second and out at first. So 4-6-3 on the double play. Side retired. We head to the third. 1-0 A's. Top of the third. And here's our Subway Eat Fresh Ask Glenn and Ray question. Sylvester from Stockton asks, do catchers call their own games anymore?
Well, you can eliminate the anymore. They always have. I think the misconception is that when a catcher looks in the dugout, I think a lot of people think that he's getting a sign of what pitch to throw. But if you notice, he only looks in the dugout when there's a runner on base. So Kurt Suzuki, his head will be straight at the pitcher. He won't be looking in the dugout because he's calling the game. These catchers put in so much time, so much effort into learning the opposition, the hitters, and the game plan of how they're going to call a game that it doesn't happen. You just simply call your game and look in the dugout is for throwers.
1-0 pitch popped up. Barton On the move, and he cannot quite get it. Okay, so that's the major league level. But where you're learning in the minor leagues, if you're a catcher, are you calling your own game in the minor leagues? Because you certainly should be.
You absolutely have to be, because the only way you can learn, let's say in the minor leagues, if you have a manager or a coach calling your pitches, get the big leagues, then what are you going to do? You're going to be completely lost. And that's why it takes longer for a catcher to develop at the minor league level, just because he might be able to catch, throw, block balls, hit, but can he call a game? Can he handle a pitching staff? And that is his most important job. So it does take longer for a catcher to get to the big leagues. Matt Weeder is one of those kids who, at the minor league level, he was ready to come up. And I don't know if he might have been delayed simply because of handling the pitching staff. And now I talked to Max Stassi from Yuba City. He's drafted by the A's in second, third year. His dad coached him in high school. He let him call his own game in high school.
Which is great.
And that was, of course, in anticipation of his dad knowing that he's going to be in the professional level eventually, and it would help him expedite his minor league career and ultimately get into the big leagues.
2-2 pitches outside to Andino.
I will say, though, when I was in Cleveland, Alvin Dark was a manager in my first full year. He told me, he said, I'm going to call the pitches. And he actually called the pitches. And every pitch, before every pitch, I'd look in the dugout. And he had signs: right ear, fastball; middle of the cheek, curveball; at the chin, a slider; the left cheek, changeup; and the left ear, nothing.
Wow.
And he'd go through a series. I just prayed that we went to a different city where the dugout was on the left side versus the right, because I got a crick on my neck just looking on to one side all the time.
But did you feel like that slowed down your development?
Of course.
Yeah. It's a full year, right?
Because why did I have to learn anything if I'm looking, and he helped, there's no doubt, because, he was a brilliant manager, there's no doubt about it. But, I'd heard one time of, I think it was Mike Heath said that he'd look in the dugout and get the signs. In 3-2, the manager looked away and said, "You're on your own." Well, you got me to 3-2. Now what do I do? And so it's always better for the catchers to learn how to handle a pitching staff. And Kurt Suzuki, Landon Fowler, you see Matt Wieters. These guys they just, I don't know that coming to the park at 1 o'clock every day for a 7 o'clock game. Now there's what Bob Guerin's doing. He's calling the whatever the instructions are, and that's something. The thumb going to the right, maybe the throw over.
All right, so the thumb up is the throw. There you go. I think at the college level, where there's a lot of terrific players in college, but maybe that's where the college coaches probably call too many of the pitches.
From what I understand, if maybe all of them.
Slowly hit to Ellis. He's will get the out at second. Pennington to first, but not quite in time. PA very fast. So one out here in the top of the third with PA now the runner at first.
Yeah, this was going to be a very difficult
Number 10,
play to turn two, but Mark Ellis once again, as Cliff Pennington told us last night, a perfect feed. Now, see the runner, and Dino could go back and touch the bag with his left foot, something that, even though they turned the double play last night, it was an interference call even beforehand. But PA runs too well.
So here's Adam Jones. Bluffs the bunt. Suzuki comes out throwing. PA just gets back.
That's not only a good job by Kurt Suzuki blocking, that the ball actually came up into his mid, and then runner at first base thinks that maybe there's going to be a chance to take the base with an extra lead, and quick fire to first by Kurt, almost got him. Yeah, going to the back of the bag, which is smart.
Jones hit a fly ball to right field in the first inning. Big hole on the right side. Call the strike.
In Detroit, Tiger Stadium. Tiger Stadium, Billy Martin was managing. That's when I was getting signs from the dugout. And I heard, "Hey, Fosse." And I look over at him. He gives me different signs. So it was.
Dugouts were close enough.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's a, come on.
Jones with a line drive left field. Jackson's coming in, and they got a chance to double up PA. The throw is way over the head, and PA is able to get back. They would have had him with any kind of decent throw, but Connor airmailed it.
Somebody call for a fair catch on that. I mean, that was, that's probably what happened. Connor Jackson did a great job of charging this ball, robbing Jones of a base hit. He probably looked up and said, oh my gosh, I can double him off. And his momentum was going, and he just kept going and did not follow through and airmailed everybody. Unfortunately, Kurt Suzuki was the one backing up. But if he had caught the ball, stopped, and thrown, everything would have been different. But everything was going forward and just could not bring the ball down. Still a great defensive play, robbing.
So Markakis hits with 2 outs. PA has just 1 stolen base this year. Markakis. Soft line out in the first inning. Moscoso's going to get him again as he lofts a fly ball. Coco Crisp has it, and that is out number 3. So the leadoff walk does no damage, and we're going to the bottom of the 3rd. A's with a 1-0 lead.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the
Rodriguez, CC Sabathia, Nick Swish, and a whole bunch of New York Yankees. Their only visit this season, it starts tomorrow through Wednesday, Memorial Day tomorrow, the day game, Tuesday night and Wednesday afternoon. Tickets are available online, oaklandathletics.com/tickets, and by calling 877-493-BALL, 877-493-BALL. Should be a great series. Always fun to see the Yankees come into town, and Memorial Day should be a huge crowd. A lot of great festivities. Troops Direct having their special day. And Memorial Day, what better way to come to the park and just enjoy baseball.
Top of the order for the A's. 1-0 lead over Zach Britton. 0-2 to Coco Crisp, who hit a fly ball to center field in the first inning.
Talked to your brother-in-law Aaron Nerboin about tomorrow.
He's
ready. Going on?
Oh yeah, they're ready. It'll be a busy day.
Is he camped out here already?
It's going to be a long day, but a busy day and a good day.
Now, is his sister going to be out here?
Oh yeah, she's number 2 in charge.
Okay.
Number 1 in charge on most days.
Yeah, right.
Number 2 in charge tomorrow.
So that means we'll see Jack up here tomorrow, right?
Jack will be in the building tomorrow, yes. I think he said he just wants to enjoy the ball game.
Jack?
Yeah.
can join up here with Uncle Ray.
That's right. Reynolds gives a little ground and then throws just in time to get Coco Crisp. One out here in the bottom of the third, and that gets us to our trivia question, which is brought to you by AT&T. Who was the last Orioles rookie starting pitcher to finish a season with an ERA under 3? Zach Britton coming into today, 2.35, and he is a rookie.
Well, there's a guy a couple booths over that was a rookie and had a pretty fantastic season at a very young age.
I bet he'd be able to answer that.
Well, he'd answer it and probably say it was himself.
And he'd probably be right.
Hall of Famer Jim Palmer, 1990 inductee into Cooperstown, first ballot. 211 complete games in a 19-year career, all with the Baltimore Orioles. 300 innings several times. 200 innings is an automatic, but over 300 innings. Pretty good hitter and a member of a great staff. And I asked him a question about playing his entire career with the Orioles, and he said, just look at the team that was behind me. Why would I want to leave, go someplace else when I had the best infield, the best outfield, 2 great catchers, relievers when I needed them? But he did say something interesting too about his complete games. When I asked him about the day's style of pitching, he said, you know, there's a lot of times I could think back, I would love to have Mariano Rivera or Dennis Eckersley, somebody come in and close out a game for me. You start pitching in excess of 300 innings. That's 300 now, not 200, 300 innings. You're making 40 starts, and 360 would be a complete game every time. So you're over 300. You're pitching deep a lot into games and still pitching effectively. One time he said he threw 169 pitches in a game.
And probably didn't think a whole lot of it. Barton strikes out for the second out here in the third.
Ball got inside. Wieters set up outside. The pitch inside is Derek Barton trying to make contact, pulling the hands in, and figured it's going to be in the strike zone. Better try to at least make contact. Could not do it.
Wouldn't it be something if they kept pitch counts back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s?
They would have had more than an 8-man pitching staff.
Well, it would just be so interesting because we talk about it so much now. And I mean, listen, how many pitches do you think Warren Spahn and Juan Marichal threw in the 16-inning game? I mean, they had to throw over 200 each. Easy.
Well, Marichal's statement was great. He said he's going to come out of the game. He said, as long as that old man's still pitching, I'm much younger than him. If he can do it, I'm going to pitch. Yeah. No, and you know the pitch counts, and you know now the pitching coach has a clicker, and every pitch is thrown. Ron Romanek and Mark Connor clicking, click, click, click. You know, so they can tell exactly where the pitch count is. Of course, it's on the scoreboard. Everybody sees what's going on, the number of balls thrown, pitches that are strikes, and balls thrown. But the starting pitcher, let's say tomorrow, who is Trevor Cahill, the starting pitcher a lot of times would be sitting in the stands behind the dugout or behind home plate, charting the pitches, watching the game in its street clothes and charting the game. And he didn't really worry about counting pitches. He'd put down, there's a fastball for a strike and whatever.
Sure. And
then it's all over. Hey, this guy threw 180 pitches. You start counting them.
But count them all up.
Nobody even considered that. And guys would sit in the dugout and chart. But now, starting pitchers sit in the dugout and cheer on their teammates. They don't do that anymore, which is understandable.
But Gaylord had to be throwing 160, 170 pitches a start, right? Had to be.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
Well, I don't think he ever went on the DL, did he?
Not that I know of. Not in '72, he didn't. He made 40 starts and was 24-16. I think I've said it before, but that's a season that he had 24-16 and a save. Kansas City, he was sitting in the stands with his street clothes on, charting the next day's game where he's going to pitch. Ken Aspermani motioned to him. He said, come and get dressed. He went down and came in and saved the game. That's great. 24-16 and one save for Gaylord Perry. Not surprising they saw Cy Young Award.
Hardy guns it to first, and they just get Willingham. 2-out walk. Jackson is stranded, and we're going to the fourth. It's 1-0 A's. Story brought to you by McDonald's on this date. A's manager Billy Martin. Well, he got hot, folks. A couple of handfuls of dirt on Terry Cooney, and he was ejected for arguing balls and strikes. Now, he would be suspended for 7 days by American League President Lee McPhail. How about that? Was he the best arguer of managers? I think he probably was, from what I can remember. Lou Piniella was pretty good. Guerrero, center field and deep. Coco Crisp has got just enough room, and he makes the catch. The late, great Billy Martin. 3 years as the A's manager, and they were a fun 3 years.
Now batting.
Well, Billy Ball, man, he had everybody running first and thirds, double steals, you name it. He was doing it. I mean, there was a tremendous amount of excitement. Born and attended high school in Berkeley, of course, no doubt local. And I think one of the greatest, of course, he managed the Yankees probably about 5 different times. George Steinbrenner fired him and hired him back. And, you know, he was always able to get the maximum out of players. And said Friday night, I think, in watching the Orioles perform for Buck Showalter, you know, he's not Billy Martin by any sense, but he is still the type of manager you expect to play hard for him because that's what he demands. And basically, he controls it. And if you don't play hard, you're gone anyway. So they had basically the same talented players they had last year. Buck Showalter takes over, and all of a sudden they start to win. And now they're continuing that this year.
It's a fair ball picked up by Barton. Wieters is retired, 2 outs.
This one I saw at a press conference where George Steinbrenner and Billy Martin were up on the podium, and they started arguing. It's all fake and pretend, but George said, "You're fired." And Billy said, "You haven't even hired me. You're not going to fire me." But, I mean, it was kind of a love-hate relationship. But George Steinbrenner knew that when Billy Martin managed, and, of course, there's one of his great second basemen, Willie Randolph, coaching third, as John Russell still trying to recover from just an injection into his knee. So Willie, the bench coach for Buck Showalter, but now coaching third, which he has done in the past.
Well, I was always curious. Why did he always fire Billy? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe they arguments.
Oh,
who
sure,
knows?
the arguments. Yeah. There's no doubt. I would think Billy Martin spoke his own mind and wanted to do it the way he wanted to do it. And I mean, just shots of late great George Steinbrenner standing in the stands, the club would lose, and he'd just throw his head. You got to be kidding! I mean, just
Billy's fault.
He won a lot of championships.
Luke Scott toward left field. Connor Jackson's there. Moscoso with a 3-up, 3-down inning, and we are going to the bottom of the 4th. Still 1-0 A's. Answer: who was the last Orioles rookie starting pitcher to finish the season with an ERA under 3? It was Mike Boddicker. 1983. So he won 16 games as a rookie, and they won the World Series in '83. Last time the Orioles won a World Series.
83.
83.
Last time they had a winning record was a long time ago, too. Would that be 97?
Yes.
It's been a while.
96 and 97, I think they went to the postseason.
Cleveland beat them in 97, almost won the World Series.
So 13 consecutive losing seasons for these Orioles. Into the glove of J.J. Hardy. So Suzuki lines out. Felix PA has moved from left field to center field, and the new left fielder is Nolan Reimold, which means Adam Jones has come out of the game. We have not heard why, which I'm sure we will soon. And here's David DeJesus talking about the history of the Baltimore Orioles, and they certainly have had some great teams. They've won 3 World Series titles: 66, 70, and 83. Late 60s, early 70s, they were in the playoffs almost every year. They played the A's in 71, 73, and 74 in the AL Championship Series.
Remember those vividly, the 73, 74, and remember now there's a 5-game division series, 7-game league championship, and then 7-game World Series. Then it was when the division played the other division a 5-game league championship, and the winner goes to the World Series. So you're playing a best of 5 to get the World Series after a 162-game schedule. And I'll admit that my first year in going to the World Series after beating the Orioles in 5 games in 73. Yeah, you always dream of going to the World Series. I said, what's the big deal about this? It was tough just to get there. And changed now, but the division series makes it just as tough just to try to get the 7-game league championship.
Now batting, second baseman, number 14, Mark Ellis.
So DeJesus gets caught looking, and that'll bring up Ellis. Well, we showed Billy Martin his great theatrics when he argued with the umpire. Maybe a very close second, or maybe 1 and 1A was Earl Weaver.
Oh, yes.
I mean, Earl,
especially with Bill Haller.
Well, I think Bill Haller, I think it just became sort of a comedy act with, I mean, I think he just enjoyed it, and
right.
Earl just got so mad. And in the hole, Hardy backhands, throws. Scott is able to dig it out. And a nice inning for Zach Britton. 3 up, 3 down, and we're on to the 5th from the Coliseum. Still 1-0 A's. and vote for the 2011 All-Star Teacher. Check out the finalist bios and video features. The winning teacher receives $20,000 for his or her school. 1-0, the A's leading, trying to sweep the Baltimore Orioles. Guillermo Moscoso, well, he's dealing again. He's allowed just 2 hits, retired 6 in a row.
That was just his 41st pitch. 28 strikes, 13 balls. And he threw a slider there to Hardy, a foul tip, and the slider he threw to Vladimir Guerrero. Thought it was a home run, but a bit towards the end of the bat, thanks to the fact that it was a slider. And kept it a 1-0 game. The A's scoring in the first inning, and so far that is the scoring.
2 to J.J. Hardy. The Angels are leading the Twins 6-4 in the bottom of the 9th inning, but the Twins have scored a run. And they got a couple of runners on, so the Angels are trying to hang on. The Twins are making it difficult. In the hole is Pennington. He's got it, guns it to first, and not in time. Hardy beat it out on a very close play. Angel Hernandez getting a good look at it.
I think Derek Barton, as he was trying to stretch, fell off the bag, and although I don't know that Hernandez looked and pointed the bag, but Cliff Pennington, just a tremendously strong arm. Hardy, unfortunately for him, runs well. The outfield grass. Penny, a strong throw, and Derek Barton the stretch. And did he come off as he caught the ball? I mean, that was bang bang. If his foot was on the bag, which it might have been, it's a great angle here to see if it comes off. Yeah, his foot's off the bag, but still, maybe not. Maybe the toe was there, but I think it was called safe on the play that he beat.
So it's a hit, and here's Reynolds. Reynolds holds up his swing, but the pitch called a strike. Reynolds hit a long fly ball to center field to end the 2nd inning. Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball. And Reynolds 0 for 6 in the series. Robert Andino is in the on-deck circle. Reynolds, when he sees a fastball, he lets it rip.
Well, he also does something you don't see a lot of guys do. He releases the top hand as he swings the follow through. Still generates a tremendous amount of power as he has throughout his career.
Fastball up and away. Reynolds has hit as many as 44 home runs in a season. That was in 2009. He hit 32 last year. So those coming with the Diamondbacks. Foul back. 28 in 08. But with him comes a boatload of strikeouts.
Well, he's 30 and 200, so there's nothing wrong with that. 30 home runs, 200 strikeouts.
He's got the major league record, 223.
He puts the ball in play. It's usually hard someplace.
1-2 pitch. That's a base hit to left field. That was a slider that was up, and Reynolds put a pretty good swing on it.
Hanging slider, and you know, when you're an aggressive swinger, then yeah, that ball's going to find its way once the contact was made.
Now batting, number 11.
Got on top, tomahawked it, and hammered it into left field.
So 2 on and nobody out for Robert Andino. The Orioles had 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs in the 2nd inning and did not score. They got a leadoff walk in the 3rd. Did nothing with that. So this is their best scoring opportunity. And Dino to bunt, and he bunts it. Moscoso will play at third. He throws, and they did not get the runner.
I don't know about that.
Hardy called safe. Kuzmanov's arguing. Bob Guerin leaps out of the dugout.
Wouldn't have known Chad Fairchild, our favorite guy. First base Friday, last night behind the plate, and today he's at third. And I don't know what he saw, but we'll see on a replay to see if the foot got in front. Hardy looked like it's going to be an easy out at third. Feet first slide. Kazman Kuzmanov kept his foot on the bag when he caught the ball. Fairchild right there with a look, but fortunately from the A's standpoint, called safe.
Now batting.
He's out.
He's out
by a good foot.
Yep, he is out.
Size of his foot. And yeah, Moscoso could see that. I mean, it was a bunt back to him, and unless he was blocked by Kevin Kuzmanov, couldn't see the foot. He just assumed the foot was there, and it wasn't. And a feet first slide, usually there's going to be some stopping once the guy hits the ground, the dirt.
Here's Felix P.A. Well, that is a huge missed call by the umpire, and that's all you got to do is look at what would have been and what is now.
And slowed down Ultimo, but still, he's got to be blocked by Kevin Kuzmanov's left foot. But there's the ball in the glove, and the foot is just not there yet. Bad.
Yeah, that hurts.
And usually when the ball beats the runner, he's usually out.
Oh, 1 to Felix P.A. Good pitch on the inside corner. So Hardy at third, Reynolds at second, and Dino at first. So it's a sacrifice. Fielder's choice is the ruling. There's an error on the play, and it goes to the umpire.
Yeah, absolutely. Big time.
PA takes a big rip. He's 0 for 2 with a fly ball to center field, and then he reached on a fielder's choice in the third. Nolan Reimold is in the on-deck circle.
Well, if you get a strikeout and then look for a ground ball double play, the A's have turned 6 in the series. You can take a double play now and give the Orioles a run.
So 1-2 the count.
Moscoso does not have a strikeout today. Perfect time to get one.
PA does a nice job of staying alive.
Breaking ball. Got him on the front foot, but able to make contact.
Outfield just shaded toward left center just a bit. That's crisp in center field. And that one's drilled to right center. Coco Crisp on the move. He dives and it bounces out of his glove. One run's going to score. Everybody moves up 90 feet. And this game is tied. Coco Crisp almost made an absolutely sensational play. I mean, I didn't think he had any chance to catch it, knowing how far he had to go, but it's going to go as a base hit.
Well, as the old saying in football, the ground cannot cause a fumble. Well, this is what happened. As he hit the ground hard with a tremendous effort and dive, he has it in his glove, then the ball pops out and got it back in, but the runners cannot really do more than take one base. But tremendous headlong dive.
Wow.
Right there in the ground. It popped out once he hits the ground. Tremendous play. Tried to grab it there before it hit the ground again, but could not.
So here's Reimold, still nobody out. First pitch is low. That would have been as good a play as you've seen all year, but unfortunately not the case. So PA picks up his 5th RBI. Breslow starts to loosen up. Mosconi in all kinds of trouble. It's a strike there. 1-1. Reimold, his first at bat. Adam Jones left the game.
When you think about what if, would the outfielder played it differently if the out would have been recorded properly at third base, first and second, 1 out. And so, you know, even if that ball drops, it's still just a base hit.
Good block by Kurt Suzuki.
Hard slider, and Zook way out in front and moved his body in front, took it off his chest protector.
Just missed outside. Moscoso trying to just catch that outside corner. May have been just a bit off the plate.
Joe West had a pretty good strike zone for the pitcher today. Both pitchers.
So 3-1, got to come in. And it's high, and that's going to drive home the go-ahead run. Reynolds trots home. Reimold gets an RBI and the bases loaded walk. And now you are into the heart of the order. And that's the scary part, because it's Markakis and then Guerrero and then Wieters. Breslow probably pretty close to being ready. So Markakis will hit. He's 0 for 2.
Now batting, number 21, Nick Markakis.
Always talk about these situations and damage control. Bases loaded, nobody out. Almost a spectacular play by Coco Chris, but the bases loaded walk doesn't help. And this guy is very tough, Markakis.
Bounces one. It's a fair ball. Barton steps on the bag, and the run comes in to score. So sliding home is Andino. Markakis gets the RBI, and he moves everybody up. So pretty good at bat for Markakis.
Well, Andino, a very good job with him running pretty much on contact, because Derek Barton almost made a spectacular play by tagging first and then trying to get the runner at the plate.
Number 27.
He charged
Vladimir
and then started, but decided to hold up. Markakis right in front of him, but Andino got a big jump off third, and it's going to make it easily.
So second and third, 1 out. Markakis gets his 16th RBI, and here's Guerrero. Kuzmanov comes in a couple steps, which may not be the healthiest thing to do with Guerrero hitting. You do what you got to do, right? Kuz is probably thinking, yeah, I wouldn't mind playing back a little bit, but I understand. Martin also in a couple steps at first. Guerrero is 0 for 2 today. 2 for 9 in the series. He reaches for that. 0-2.
Well, how big is the missed call at third?
Well, it's
I mean that's a whole inning.
It would have been first and second, 1 out. PA hitting.
Yeah.
0-2 to Guerrero. jam shot. Ellis gets it on a hop. The run's going to come in to score. So PA kind of had to wait just to make sure Ellis didn't catch it in the air. And once he saw that, PA has great speed, raced home. So it's another RBI ground out, and it's 4-1.
Now with the infield back, contact. And that's pretty much what they've done. And
32.
it's too bad. Boy, you make what you think is the right play and a good play to get a force out on a bunt that was really not a very good bunt by Endino. And it turns out with the blown call that he's safe, and it's opened up a 4-run inning.
Here's Wieters. Reimold is at second base. Wieters 1 for 2. He had a base hit in the second inning. So it's been 3 hits, a walk, and the fielder's choice where the call was missed at third. A couple of RBI ground outs.
40 pitches, first 4 innings, 28 in this half inning.
Good pitch there, a fastball, outside corner. Royals still leading the Rangers 5-3, bottom of the 7th inning in Arlington. As always, Texas with runners on base. The Angels did hang on to win that game against the Twins. The Twins scored a couple runs in the bottom of the 9th, but they left the tying and winning runs on base. So Angels 6 and the Twins 5. Well, that's a final. So the Angels take 2 out of 3 from the struggling Twins. Two pitch to Wieters. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Off-speed pitch. That's the first strikeout for Moscoso. But damage done by the Orioles. They score 4 times.
The A's host the New York Yankees. Troop Direct communicates with the front lines daily, provides support for its service members, making them energized and high-spirited as possible. Returning Marine will throw out the first pitch, and F-18 flyover will take place. And for more information on Troops Direct pregame barbecue, visit troopsdirect.org. Tickets to the Oakland Athletics game, go to oaklandathletics.com.
That'll all be tomorrow.
Maybe Brad Ziegler will talk about Djibouti. When is that?
What is what?
Djibouti. Brad Ziegler.
I don't know.
CSNCalifornia.com. You've been talking about it all weekend.
I'm just concentrating on
Djibouti.
Yeah, exactly. Kuzmanov flies out to right field. So a big day tomorrow and a big series, and there are big crowds are expected, but from what I understand, there are a few seats available for the next 3 games. Not a lot. But.
There's Brad Ziegler down in the bullpen with Rick Rodriguez. I was called Steve Finelli, and of course Travis and Josh, ticket office. They're all waiting. Got the whole ticket office waiting for calls for people, find out for tickets, and come out here and see the A's and the Yankees for 3 games. It's a short homestand, just 6 games. These 3 with the Orioles and then 3 with the Yankees, and then off on a 9-game trip. What's it, 10, right?
10, yeah. 3 in Boston, 3 in Baltimore, and 4 in Chicago. So that is a long one.
The A's will be sporting their their Memorial Day and holiday caps tomorrow. They're very nice. They're a navy blue with the A's logo, red, white, and blue logo.
2-2 to Pennington. Zach Britton has retired 8 of the last 9, so he has settled in after a rocky first inning. And there's a base hit to center field by Cliff Pennington.
Penny swung very hard at a pitch out of the strike zone and settled down with a couple of strikes, took one right back up the middle. Nice adjustment.
Now batting, center fielder, number 4.
4 total runs scored for this lefty in the last 4 starts, and he's gotten 4 in 1 inning today. We saw a pretty good pitcher down in Anaheim. We always see him when we're down there. There's John Blue Moon Odom, today celebrating a birthday. Born on this day, 1945 in Macon, Georgia. John Blue Moon Odom, so happy birthday to Mooney. If you're watching, which he usually does, and always gets upset when we don't talk about it. So Mooney, we're talking about you on your birthday today. Talk about him all the time.
Big bouncer over the head of Reynolds, and Hardy tries to make a play at second, didn't really have one, and it's going to be a hit for Coco Crisp. So 2 on, 1 out for Barton.
Well, a high chopper, and of course the third baseman Reynolds playing in anticipation of a bunt, and that's the threat, the great possibility of a bunt. As a result, the infielder's playing in, and ball over the head of Reynolds at third. And you like to see a runner at first base get a good lead and a good jump, and especially when there's a possible force out at second on an infield hit, and that's what occurred there. Fortunately, Pennington got the good jump, and with his speed made it in safely.
So Derek Barton steps in. He had a base hit and a run scored in the first, and he struck out swinging in the third. Barton fouls that one off his foot somewhere.
Britton has that hard sinker, and that one got him on the right foot, missed the protective shin guard on his right foot. No stride by Barton. Maybe got the shin guard, or some of it anyway.
Great speed on the bases with Pennington at second, Crisp at first. Way outside, 2-1. On deck is Connor Jackson. gets the call there, and now 2-2. 5 hits by the A's off the left-hander Britton. Very close. When the Orioles get Brian Mattis back, another young left-hander, I think they feel like Mattis and Britton could lead their staff for a long time. And that's very possible. Both good young left-handers. 3-2. Barton goes around at a pitch that was out of the strike zone. So Barton strikes out for the second time, and that's 2 outs.
And that's too bad because he took some very close pitches, and this one a little bit too anxious. And now if he had really been as patient as he was in the ones he took, almost like he knew the pitches that were coming, and see the disgust when he knew he'd swung a ball 4.
So 2 outs for Connor Jackson. The A's specialty in this series, the 2-out RBI hit. They've had 7 of them, I believe, is the count.
You are correct.
And they could use one right here. Jackson goes after a breaking ball, taps it foul at home plate. Jackson checks this one.
It's game number 20 or 54 for the Athletics, which basically is the 1/3 point of the season.
Yeah, that's right.
Win today could get him to the 500 mark.
Left field, Reimold coming in. He's going to play it on a hop. And there is the 2-out RBI hit, and it's 4-2.
Well, and you think, what if Derek Barton had drawn the walk, which is ball 4? Connor Jackson came through. There'd have been only 1 out, so he could have taken a 2-run single with 1 out. Instead, with the runner on the move, that is Cliff Pennington on a ball hit in front of Reimold in left field. Was he playing as shallow as he had been? No, he was not, and that might have cost him because Connor Jackson dropped the ball in front of him. Great 2-out hitting. And once again, Cliff Pennington, no problem scoring from second base on the base hit to left.
So for Jackson, his 13th RBI, he's been on base all 3 times.
Well, they call it pinball baseball. You know, guys move up a base. Well, just keep getting the 2-out hits. In the first game of the series on Friday night, the A's had 3 consecutive 2-out hits, scoring the 3 runs, helping them win that game 6-3. Willingham swinging about well. Suzuki behind him. Maybe it can happen today as well.
Oko's got a big lead at second base. Willingham, the RBI single in the first, he grounded to short in the third, so he now has 32 runs batted in. Rolls that one foul over the head of Mike Gallego. Breslow gets up for the second time. Just a slightly open stance.
I like to see Connor Jackson at first, like what the guys are doing the runner at second base. Moscoso hoping to get some more run support. But Connor Jackson is inching off first, watching Coco. If he runs, he's going to follow. So there's a backdoor slider that Josh Willingham hit on Friday night for his 8th home run. Good series for Willingham against the team he played against in interleague play. It's a rivalry, Baltimore and Washington Nationals.
So 1-2 to Willingham. 75 pitches for Zach Britton. Look to Coco Crisp. And if nothing else, Coco's done his job. He's got Britton thinking about him. And the only guy that can hurt Britton right now is the guy standing at home plate.
Exactly.
Right? I mean,
exactly. Ricky was the best at doing that. And of course, as we have said often, the middle infielders, they're just trying to going over, but Andino's trying to get back in his position. Time Britton, a little quick pitch, that also inside out of the strike zone.
So now a full count, and Crisp and Jackson will take off.
And he does not have to worry about looking back at second base because he does know runners will be moving.
So Willingham, he's ready, and Britton a long look in. Runners go, and it's foul back. They're going to the bottom of the 8th inning in Arlington. Royals leading 5-3 over the Texas Rangers, and the Yankees 7, Mariners nothing in the 5th inning.
CC Sabathia pitching for the Yankees.
He's got some runs to work with. 3-2 again, and this one's hit to left. Reynolds at the wall. A's lead.
Great inning for the Athletics, and Josh Willingham does it again. The 4th 3-run home run by the Athletics this year. Josh Willingham has hit the last 2 at Texas on the 9th of May, and it comes through today. A high arcing fly ball. It had the distance. He was kind of hoping it would stay fair. It did. And oh, by the way, 3 more runs with 2 outs with that one blast. Oh, that's exciting. So that quickly, the A's took the lead, take the lead.
So a 4 RBI afternoon for Willingham. He now has 35 RBIs on the year. That one bounced up the middle into center field, a base hit. That's the 5th hit off Britton this inning.
Well, we showed that note, and nobody warming up in the bullpen, that Britton had received just 4 runs total support in his last 4 games, 4 runs in 1 inning, and he turns around and gives it right back up. Thanks to Josh Willingham. Think he hasn't been a great addition to this lineup? He has been tremendous.
So DeJesus hits. A home run by Willingham. Second home run for the A's in the series. Ellis last night. Britton way outside. And now 1-2, or 1-1, excuse me. DeJesus is 0 for 2. He hit a ground ball the second in the first. And then he struck out looking in the fourth. And the A's now 8 hits in the ball game and the 5 runs.
You know, we talked about with the addition of Andrew Bailey coming off the disabled list today that it could be 6, maybe even a 5-inning appearance by a starting pitcher. And it looks like that's what's going to happen today with Moscoso. Greg Breslow getting loose again. Luke Scott, the lefty, will lead off for the Orioles in their half of the 6th.
Suzuki, lead, kind of a one-way lead as he's shuffling back to first, but the pitch is outside, 3-1. Now there's going to get some action going out in the Orioles bullpen. Britton is wobbling here big time in the 5th. And that one is a strike.
Joe West with that very delayed call. Of course, we see it as delayed. I don't think David DeJesus thought it was a strike. He started to throw his bat, and probably he was correct. Decided before he threw it, he'd wait for Joe.
So Suzuki is ready to run, and he does, and that one's bounced off the glove. The shortstop Hardy throws just in time, so looked like Britton got a piece of it. So the A's score 4 times. The final 3 coming on that swing of the bat from Willingham. So 5.
Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by Xfinity, home of the most live sports, and by Chevrolet. Go to ChevyBaseball.com to support youth baseball and help make a moment kids will never forget.
The A's score 4 times in the bottom of the 5th inning to take the lead till 5-4. And when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. Craig Breslow comes in. So Moscoso goes 5 innings, and thanks to the big inning, now has a chance to be the winning pitcher. So Breslow will face Scott, Hardy, and Reynolds. Scott, a couple of fly balls to left field. Oh, we talked about this the other night, and we think it's what makes baseball great. Crazy sometimes. So Willingham hits a 3-run homer, gives the A's the lead.
That's right.
Down in Texas, about 3 seconds after Willingham, Michael Young hits a 2-run homer to tie up the game. That's why I like the scoreboard watch, even though it drives you crazy sometimes. It makes baseball fun.
Well, you could have just left it at Josh Willingham hitting a 3-run home run, and no, you're right.
You just never know.
I just and back when the A's were winning and going to the World Series in the late '80s, I think one of the greatest scoreboard in right field, Tony Phillips, I think had a home run here. At the same time, the team that was closest to the A's, they dropped the scoreboard and the sign. They lost the game on a hit. I mean, it was perfect. Great timing. Almost like it was choreographed.
But it's one of those things that, again, the other sports are great. Football's great, best. But you don't scoreboard watch in other sports. Exactly. You do at a baseball game, whether it's May, June, July, it doesn't matter. Scott hits a pop-up foul, so the count stays 2-2. 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs. Just 1 strikeout. So the A's bullpen, which has been very good all year, it's been terrific in this series. The bullpen has thrown 7 innings, given up 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. And that is coming into today, and they'll need 4 innings today.
Well, the A's hope, and Guillermo Moscoso hopes that the same happens that happened last night. Josh Outman finished his outing, and the A's scored in the bottom half. Bullpen came in for 3 shutout innings, and he got the win. The A's got the win. David Renetti's here. He is the man. Anything you want to say, David? Hello to everybody. David Renetti. Wants everybody to come out to the Coliseum, be nice and peaceful, enjoy baseball, and enjoy a great game here at the Coliseum.
Slider, and Scott gets caught looking.
VP Stadium Operations, the man, David Renetti.
He's been here for how long?
100 years. Breaking ball, good curveball from.
Sorry.
No, I know it's less than 100, but he seems like he's been here for 100 years.
31 years David Renetti has been with the Oakland Athletics.
I remember when he was one of the Fabulous Four, all the kids with Kevin Kahn and Kevin and Daryl and Matt. That's right. Fabulous Four.
Now he's all grown up and mature.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far, but he's older.
He's our guy, David Renetti. Swing and a miss by J.J. Hardy. 1-1.
As we mentioned with Ron Romanek, the A's pitching coach, and Bob Guerin, need 12 outs to try to get a win. 1-run lead, and they have a number of guys in the bullpen to be able to go to. This might be the first day they have the opportunity and use the entire bullpen to try to get the final 12 outs. Now they need 11.
And Joey Devine has pitched in each of the first 2 games of the series, so that has to be taken into consideration. 2-2 now to Hardy. Single and a double and a run scored for the Orioles shortstop. So the Royals and the Rangers now tied at 5, top of the 9th inning. Michael Young, a 2-out, 2-run homer in the bottom of the 8th to right field. I believe that's the rubber game of that series. center field, hit well. But Crisp is going to get back there. And he's got it.
And you're talking about this bullpen. Craig Breslow is one guy the A's have in the bullpen, along with probably Brad Ziegler, and not to say that the others can't do it, but Craig is one guy who can pitch multiple innings, so he may have the 6th and the 7th.
12, Mark Reynolds.
They are discussing that probably right now, but Craig's done a tremendous job since he has joined the Athletics. There is Andrew Bailey already starting to get loose, getting that feeling of a 1-run lead and thinking that first day off the disabled list might get the call.
Fastball to Reynolds on the inside corner, first strike. Reynolds a fly ball to center field, and then a single and a run scored in the 5th inning. That's when the Orioles scored 4 times. The A's came right back in the bottom of the 5th and scored 4. Reynolds is 1 for 7 in this series. Just missed off the plate. 93 miles an hour from Breslow. Andino would be next if Reynolds were to get aboard. Same spot, and again called the ball. 3-1. Both bullpens are quiet.
Breslow right over the top, pretty much a 4-seam fastball. When you throw 93, you don't get a lot of movement, and just missing the outside corner. Don't like to adjust too much towards the middle of the plate, especially with a powerful Reynolds.
And there's the walk. So 2-out walk, and that'll bring up Andino. Orioles last won the season series in 1998. And here at the Coliseum, they have had no luck as of late. A's have won 11 out of 12 since 2008. Remember the White Sox went through that for a while where they just could not win games here. Reynolds takes off. Throw to second base is not nearly in time. So Reynolds got a good jump. And he stole it easily. And that's the tying run.
Well, you just don't expect or think that Mark Reynolds is going to be a guy that's going to run. So the high leg kick, the big jump first move. He really didn't have a big lead. Maybe just kind of indicated he's going to stay put, but he took off and made it easily, and really not a bad steal considering there were 2 outs. There are 2 outs.
So 1-0 to Andino. Andino to right field. DeJesus is there. He's got it side, retired. So Breslow does not give up anything. Bottom of the 6th coming up. 5-4 A's. back to the Coors Light 6th inning. Here's the Coors Light freeze can. Coors Light Freeze Can is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. A's 5, Orioles 4. Zach Britton still in there, and he will face Ellis, Kuzminoff, and Pennington. Andrew Bailey gets up, so he may get some action today. And Ellis with a line single to left field.
Well, I started to mention about Andrew Bailey and getting an opportunity to pitch. He's not really, and they're going to bring him back slowly. And even though this would be a quote unquote stressful situation because right now 1-run lead, but as far as closing, it's a little bit different. But he will eventually get back in the role that he's accustomed to having, and still, if he is there, he is just getting himself ready, and it'd be exciting to see him take the mound. By the way, the scoreboard watching, BI informs us that Getz had a triple and a sac fly by Escobar to put the Royals back ahead now in the 9th inning. 6-5 over the Rangers. So my partner watching the scoreboard. Okay, this out-of-town scoreboard, probably one of the top new adventures or inventions in a sense in baseball. They'd have them, but not really extensive as they are right now, to follow game to game, inning by inning, and watch as the game develops.
That's another base hit. So Kuzminoff is hot, and the A's have 10 hits.
Is that 4 consecutive games now with multi-hits? So it sets up a nice sacrifice situation for Cliff Pennington, one of the best in the business, and trying to pad the lead. Mark Ellis with a single. Kevin Kuzminoff, same spot. Ty Waller instructing Kevin Kuzminoff what's going to be happening.
Yeah, but you're right. Now, a lot of places now, newer ballparks, they have who's batting, where the runners are, outs, base hit, single.
Well, Texas has it. Right now they're showing the Oakland A's with 2 runners on base in the bottom of the 6th inning. Cliff Pennington at the plate.
And the bunt, and it's a good one.
Well, is that perfect or what?
You want the third baseman to field it, and that's exactly what Pennington did. Nicely done.
That is a perfect executed sacrifice bunt. Look at the angle of the bat. Ultramo. It's got the angle, drops the bat back a little bit, and then just deadens the ball to the third base side. Reynolds, the third baseman, has to field it. Cliff Pennington running to first base saying, I did my job. His 3rd of the season.
So they're going to walk Coco Crisp and load the bases for Derek Barton. So Barton's going to get a chance. So the bases will be loaded with 1 out.
Now batting, first baseman, number 10, Derek Barton.
So Barton steps in, singled and scored in the 1st, and then struck out swinging in the 3rd, and struck out swinging again in the 5th. First pitch is hit high to right field. Markakis sets up. Ellis is the runner. He's going to tag. So that's going to be a sacrifice fly. So Barton does the job, and the A's add to their lead. It's now 6-4. So Barton did not wait around. He went after the first pitch and picks up his 13th RBI.
And Buck Showalter's going to make a move to the bullpen. We're going to do it very fast, as in speedy, right?
Indeed. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Zach Britton knocked around today, and that has not happened to him much this year. 6 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings, and both the runners are his responsibility. So Jeremy Accardo, the right-hander, comes in to face Jackson with 2 outs. Runner goes, and the throw to third at Kuzmanov's back. It'll be a stolen base for Coco Crisp. 16th steal of the year for Crisp.
Accardo, first pitch, you can see it throws very hard. He has been around and out of the bullpen doing exactly that. Just comes in and rears back and throws as hard as he can, which is hard. That play that Matt Wieters first and third, that's a pre-planned play that come up and see the runner taking off. You immediately throw to third, hoping that the runner from third has taken a couple of steps. Sometimes they fake the second and then try to draw the runner down the third base line, but Kevin Kuzmanov played it perfectly.
Jackson, a line drive into the glove of J.J. Hardy. Side retired. A's get a run on 2 hits. Sacrifice fly from Barton. Andrew Bailey loosening up, and it looks like we're going to see the A's 2-time All-Star. The first time here in 2011. Here he comes. Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. Cache Creek's Heatwave giveaway. Win cash prizes, match play, and more every day. Visit CacheCreek.com for details. You hear the big cheer go up here at the Coliseum, and for good reason. Andrew Bailey is going to pitch the top of the 7th inning. So this is great to see. And when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. The oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. So Bailey comes in. He made 4 appearances in the minor leagues. And he says, I'm ready to roll. He faces the top of the order. First pitch is a bit outside to Felix PA.
94 with heater. That's adrenaline. Because he said the velocity maybe 88, 89. Yeah. First one at 94.
PA toward Mark Ellis. Ranging to his left, and that's out number 1.
Well, Andrew Bailey has been spectacular. Back-to-back All-Stars. The saves, 26 and 25, Rookie of the Year. Just keep him healthy, and well, the addition of Malcolm Fuentes and the already strong bullpen enabled Andrew Bailey to take the time necessary to get his arm feeling good. Take the rehab assignments and then get back at this level and hopes to stay here. 93 with the heater. Rest of the bullpen, a strong one.
0-2 count to Reimold. A couple of fastballs.
Now, Andrew Bailey had talked about the Tommy John surgery that kind of didn't allow him to straighten his arm. And had to bet perfectly for the cut fastball. Talked to him by Gil Patterson, minor league roving pitching instructor. There's the cutter, but then he had the arm, elbow taken care of this winter and kind of straightened it out a little bit. I said, now you have to make a change to throw the cutter again. But that last pitch is cut fastball, very good one. Better one there, and thought he had the strike. Well, Joe West way inside the left shoulder of Kurt Suzuki and did not like the location, although Andrew Bailey followed through, thought he had the corner.
Bailey comes back inside. Reimold fouls it back. Bad news in Arlington. Nelson Cruz leading off the bottom of the 9th. A home run off Joaquin Soria to tie that game at 6. Last 3 outs are tough to get in Arlington. Rangers have tied it. There's a line drive foul headed down to the bullpen.
As we have often talked about, Andrew Bailey has the ability to throw a number of pitches. That was a curveball, and as a former starting pitcher, he does possess 4 quality pitches, mostly the fastball, but he will fool guys throwing an occasional curveball, which he just did, but it hung to Reimold.
2-2 pitch popped up, and that'll be just to our right below us. Devine, Balfour, and Fuentes pitched last night. And again, we mentioned Joey Devine also pitched on Friday night. Another 2-2 pitch. Reimold somehow got a piece of it. Pitch was quite a ways outside, but it's a foul ball. Markakis will be next. Yankees 7, Mariners 1 in the 6th inning at Safeco. Kuzmanov has it, and that is out number 2.
Well, every pitch that Andrew Bailey throws, and he just has to feel more comfortable and going to the breaking pitches, the cutter, the curveball, has a changeup and a low 90s fastball. It just explodes out of his hand.
So here's Markakis, good guy to face with 2 outs and nobody on base, especially with a 2-run lead.
Well, we know one guy might be watching someplace back on the East Coast, and that is Bill Bailey. And Bill, your son is back. Bill and Lori, the parents of Andrew Bailey. And as I mentioned, no doubt we'll see them probably back on the East Coast. Definitely in New York, the trips the A's will make, but also possibly Baltimore. It's good to have him back.
Little tapper. Easy play for Barton. And Andrew Bailey's first inning back is a good one. 3 up, 3 down, and it is the 7th inning stretch. Willingham's going to lead it off. He's got 4 RBIs. And the A's lead 6-4. Been the hitting star for the A's. 2 for 3, 4 RBIs, and a 3-run homer. This one hit on a line, but right to the shortstop, J.J. Hardy. So Willingham is retired. Oh, we are indeed
Now batting,
seeing the offense coming to life a little bit, and that is great
Kurt
news.
Suzuki.
A total of 43 hits in those 4 games. Kuzmanov's had better swings. So let's see if it continues the rest of this homestand when the Yankees come to town. Kurt Suzuki is 1 for 3. Swing and a miss. Suzuki had a base hit in the 5th. He's also lined out and hit a fly ball to center field. Ricardo got the final out of the 6th inning. Pop up right side. Scott fighting that sun, and he makes the catch.
Sure to enter the Farmers Insurance Group sweepstakes for your chance to throw out the ceremonial first pitch. Your batting practice and enjoy the game with 5 of your closest family and friends if you have them. I'm sure everybody has at least 5 in their family, closest friends, right?
I got 4.
Enter at OaklandAthletics.com/farmers today through May 31st for your chance to win.
Working on my 5th.
Come on down.
My wife, my 2 kids, and Ray.
Uncle Ray.
That's it. But it's a long season, and I think I can get one more friend by September.
And travel around some big cities and go to Skype out on the street corner. You be my friend.
The guys on the plane don't want much to do with me, so oh well. Kind of a controversial ending in Arlington, Ray. And it ended with a play at the plate, a non-collision play at the plate, and a very, very close call. And the Ranger runner was called safe, and the Rangers scored 2 in the 9th to win it. DeJesus grounds out. So it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Ricardo, and we move to the 8th. So 6-4 A's.
Now for the forward right choice, and we welcome back Andrew Bailey, a 1-2-3 7th inning. You got a ground ball by Pierre to Mark Ellis to share hands, and then cut fastball off the bat of Raimo to Kevin Kuzminoff, and then Nick Markakis, a slow hopper to his first baseman, 3 unassisted, 14 pitches for Andrew Bailey, 1-2-3, and I don't think his feet were touching the ground as he was heading back to the dugout, just kind of floating in air. And rightfully so. Great to have him back.
When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. Grant Balfour comes in. Balfour pitched the 8th inning last night, back out there today. 3-1 with a 3.04 ERA. And he will face Guerrero, Wieters, and Scott. So Breslow an inning, Bailey an inning, and now it's Balfour. First pitch a bit outside to Guerrero. It's a bouncer into right field for a base hit. Wasn't that hit hard? Guerrero just kind of reached for it, but he has his first hit today. Third hit in the series.
Now batting, number 32, Matt Wieters.
So Wieters will hit. Wieters had a base hit back in the 2nd inning. 6 hits now for Baltimore. Before we went to break, talking about play at the plate in Arlington. We saw the highlight. The runner slid home, and the catcher for the Royals, Brian Pena, was not blocking the plate. He tried to put the tag on him. Runner was called safe, and that was the winning run. So Texas takes 2 out of 3 from the Royals in what was kind of a wild series.
And the runner went feet first into home plate.
Straight in.
And Pena tagged him high, and looking at the replays, the correct call.
I think he was safe, yeah.
Yeah, because the foot got in as he tagged him high. If he goes down low to tag him, could possibly have been out, but it looked like it was the correct call. Unfortunately from the A's standpoint, but a good comeback for the Rangers.
So 7-6 is the final. So Texas has won, and the Angels have won. The Mariners are losing 7-1 in the 7th. Wieters bounces it. Balfour knocks it down, picks it up, throws to second out there. Back to first, double play.
Oh, wow. Again. Just put the ball in the hands of Cliff Pennington. And that's exactly what Grant Balfour did. Had he not fielded the ball, it might have been a double play easier, but a good throw to Pennington to reach, and look at the gun, the return, and Matt Wieters, what a great job of using the left foot, pushing away from Vladimir Guerrero, and then the very strong throw. And as Mark Ellis said, it's like he's throwing a 100-mile-an-hour fastball to first base. And stretched by Barton, might not have even needed it, but the gun, the cannon by Cliff Pennington is just unbelievable. So another double play, 7 in the 3-game series.
Luke Scott is 0 for 3. Playable. Kuzmanov shading his eyes. He's got it in foul territory. So Balfour faces 3 hitters and nothing for the Orioles in the 8th. All right, here's our game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Missed call. It hurt the A's a little bit, cost them a run at least, but they have bounced back nicely. Vladimir Guerrero with an RBI ground out. This was part of a 4-run 5th inning by the Orioles, so they took a 4-1 lead, but the A's answered right back in the bottom of the 5th. 4 runs, 3 of them coming on Willingham's home run. 3-run shot. Willingham with 4 RBIs in the game, so he's the hitting star. His bullpen has shut down the Orioles so far, and the A's take a 6-4 lead into the bottom of the 8th inning. Our game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 4-6-0 for the Orioles, 6-10-0 for the Athletics. Ellis to right field, but Markakis is there. So we got a new pitcher for the Orioles. His name is Kevin Gregg. It's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog expert. So
third baseman.
Gregg is the closer.
Kevin
Has not pitched in this series until today. Got a 2-year contract. 2 years, $10 million. Free agent deal to come to the Orioles. Breaking ball. In for a strike to Kevin Kuzminoff. Kuzminoff is 2 for 3. Fuentes starting to throw. Kuzminoff 4 for 7 in this series. So it's good to see Kevin start swinging the bat a little bit better.
And back in the lineup last night, just the 2 games, he has those 4 hits. 2 last night to the opposite field. Almost hit 1 out, and then 2 hits today. 1 to the opposite field. So 3 of 4 opposite field shots. And that's called waiting. And pitched away. Might as well go the opposite field.
Drops low. In the 9th inning for the Orioles, it'll be Hardy, Reynolds, and Dino. So 3 right-handed hitters that Fuentes will face.
Well, last night he faced Tatum, the right-hander, then Andino. Adam Jones, who singled and then got Markakis. So he's faced 4 last night. Did Fuentes and got the job done. Like last night, the A's will at least have a 2-run lead, which always helps. Although Jones singled last night to put the tying run at the plate. Markakis is always a dangerous hitter.
Inside, Kuzminoff lifts up the arms to get out of the way. So a full count with Pennington in the on-deck circle. And there's the walk. The A's have a 1-out base runner here in the bottom of the 8th. That's 4 walks the A's have received in this game.
Now batting shortstop, number 2, Cliff Pennington.
Cliff Pennington is 1 for 2. He singled and scored in the 5th. Had a sacrifice bunt in the 6th, and that helped the A's get their 6th run. Runner was moving. Pennington loops one into left field, but Reimold on the run makes the catch. So Kuzminoff gets back to first. 2 outs.
Pennington might have been better just to swing through the pitch because Kuz had such a big jump off his hit and run because the hitter always wants to try to make contact.
Coco Chris.
So back to the top of the order in Coco Crisp. Crisp is 1 for 3. He singled in the 5th and scored. He also walked in the 6th and stole a base. So he's 3 for 8 in the series. 2-1 now. Crisp. Fuentes now standing in the bullpen. He's pretty much ready to go. Three and one. So we're looking forward to seeing the Yankees tomorrow. Their only time they will be at the Coliseum this year. There are a few tickets available, so come on out on what should be a beautiful day in the Bay Area. It's a day game, 1 o'clock start. Greg with the walk. So 2 walks here in the bottom of the 8th inning. So the pitching matchup will be Trevor Cahill, Bartolo Colon tomorrow. Coverage begins at 12:30 with A's pregame live. Complete A's coverage every night on Sportsnet Central and CSNCalifornia.com. The home of the A's is Comcast Sportsnet California. We'll also have coverage of all the pregame ceremonies. Troops Direct Day here at the Coliseum.
And you know, Dallaire will have a special telecast tomorrow for us at Comcast Sportsnet California. A lot of good features, a lot of good things happening on a very special Memorial Day.
Derek Barton gets his 5th at bat. He had a sacrifice fly in the 6th inning.
The sac fly was very big. It gave the A's an extra run, which they were able to get last night. Thanks to Mark Ellis' home run.
Pedro Viola out in the bullpen, who was just called up today.
Is that for Gonzalez?
No, the guy who pitched last night got sent down, Bergeson. Orioles do have an off day on Thursday, so maybe it was one of those situations. Skip Bergeson, I don't know. 3-1. Greg all over the place. He's already walked 2 in the inning. Pitch way outside, and he has walked the bases loaded. 6 walks now issued by Orioles pitchers today.
And not one has scored.
28, Connor Jackson.
But that's all right. 3-run home run makes up for a lot of walks that don't score.
Connor Jackson's been on base 3 times today. A couple of walks and an RBI single. Checks his swing, inside corner, called a strike. So the A's have 10 hits, and they have received 6 walks. So another game where the A's have had base runners all over the place. And they'll need a little offense with the Yankees coming in. Yankees lead the American League in runs scored and home runs hit. And coming into today, the Yankees have hit 22 more home runs than any other team in the American League, which is quite a separation between the first and second teams in total home runs hit. Jackson. Little looper to right field. Markakis is going to get there. He's got it. Side. Retired. A's leave him loaded. 9th inning coming up. A's 3 outs away from a sweep. Fuentes coming in.
that?
It's an excited young man who
sounds like a chicken.
Who's feeling good about the A's chances for the 3-game sweep. Brian Fuentes comes in. And he faces J.J. Hardy leading off the top of the 9th inning. 6-4 the A's lead. First pitch down around the knees for a strike. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. So Fuentes got the save last night through 16 pitches in the 9th. Kuzmanov gets a nice big hop, throws, 1 out.
Time now for the Fremont Bank play of the game. Josh Willingham, 3-2, see. A 3-run home run for Josh Willingham, the DH for the Athletics this afternoon. Connor Jackson left, so kind of a half day off and a big day for Josh Willingham. Drove in 4 of the A's 6, including a 3-run home run and RBI single in the first inning.
1 out for Mark Reynolds. Reynolds a single and a walk, also has a stolen base, has scored a run. Swing and a miss. Well, the A's, it's set to host the Yankees. The Texas Rangers will start a 7-game trip. Go to Tampa Bay and Cleveland. The Angels will be at Kansas City tomorrow. That'll be a 3-game series, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And these Orioles go to Seattle. That's where the rest of the AL West will be starting tomorrow.
And the A's know they have a tough trip coming up. First, actually second trip back east. They go to Toronto. But 3 very good teams. Boston, Baltimore, and Chicago, of course, in the Central finish out the 10-day. But 10 tough games on the road again. Eventually, a lot of games at the Coliseum.
Two and two the count to Reynolds. Dino, another right-handed hitter, waits in the on-deck circle. Reynolds fouls it straight back. Had a pretty good swing.
13 runs today scored by the Blue Jays. Watching that aggressive swing by Mark Reynolds. Thinking about Jose Bautista. Did he hit any today? No, I can't believe it. Aaron Hill a slam. 13 for the Blue Jays. Goes to the White Sox. The A's have to watch it because Jose Bautista almost will have more than the A's entire team.
He didn't play in that series when the A's were in Toronto.
That's right. Too bad.
So Toronto, with their win, gets back up over 500 at 27 and 26. So no division's tighter than the AL West, but the AL East is pretty tight.
Talking to Buck Showalter on Friday about the success of the Orioles in that very tough Eastern Division, and of course he mentioned Tampa Bay winning the division last year, and Red Sox and Yankees, but he did mention the Blue Jays, how well they are playing. He's got to be thinking, here we are on the West Coast and trailing by 2 in the 9th inning, the 3rd deciding game, trying to avoid being swept.
Well, so far today, the Red Sox have won, the Rays have won, and the Blue Jays have won. Yankees are winning 7-1, so that is updated with the results so far. Red Sox have won 5 in a row and 9 of their last 10, so they are a very hot team. Another 2-2 pitch, and that one's hit high to left field. Playable for Connor Jackson. He's got it. 2 outs. Starting Pitching matchups for the upcoming Yankee series. Colon and Cahill tomorrow. Freddie Garcia, Brett Anderson on Tuesday. And then another day game on Wednesday, A.J. Burnett and Gio Gonzalez. So the A's will be sending their top 3 starters against a Yankees team that is swinging the bat extremely well. So Robert Andino steps in. And there's a strike on the outside corner to Andino. Guillermo Moscoso, when he walked off the mound today, he didn't know that he'd have a chance to get a win. Well, one more out, and he will be the winning pitcher. He gave up 4 in the top of the 5th. The A's came back and scored 4 in the bottom of the 5th to grab a 5-4 lead. So Moscoso just hung around long enough to maybe get the W. It would be his second in his 2 starts.
Josh Outman last night picking up the win. So that would be pretty good in 4 starts by the 2 guys replacing Ross and McCarthy, pitchers on the disabled list. Pick up 3 wins.
Andino keeps the game alive with a single, and the Orioles will at least get the tying run to the plate. And it's not going to be Felix P.A. It's going to be Ryan Adams.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, for Baltimore, pinch hitting for PA, number 6, Ryan Adams.
So Adams will hit here in the 9th. Adams played second base last night. He was 1 for 3. First pitch is a fastball inside. Nolan Reimold, who has good power, would be next. Barton will just play right behind Andino at first. Pop up. Barton into foul territory, and he's got it, and that's the ball game. The A's win it today by a final score of 6-4, and they sweep the Baltimore Orioles. So a very fine weekend for the A's here at the Coliseum. Willingham with 4 RBIs, including a 3-run homer. And the A's, again, back to the 500 mark. They are 27-27. They have won 4 in a row. Don't go away. A's Postgame Live with Jim Cosmore and Greg Cataray starts right now.